The triangle has been saved. The Danger Dorito, the funny kite plane, also known as the J35D Draken. So, the J35D is now 10.3. All 2 of the Swedish players around the world are rejoicing because they can climb more than 2 inches off the ground without spontaneously combusting. The balance changes really have made this plane significantly more fun than it used to be. And in this video, I'm going to take you through some of the playstyles I like to use with it and why I think it is some of the most fun you can have at top tier. So, to outline the kit this aircraft has access to, there's the avionics. You do get a radar. I would not recommend keeping it turned on, it's only ever really useful in dogfights if you're leading a missile. Apart from in dogfights, the radar is just a flying RWR ping that will let people know you're there. The next thing I'm going to talk about is propulsion, and this plane has a very thrusty engine. That's thanks to the glorious British engineering of the Rolls-Royce Avon, produced under license by Volvo for this plane, that puts out over 8,000 kilograms of thrust. That amount of thrust is more than the MiG-21s have, it's more than almost any other plane has at that BR. It's more than even an F-104 puts out. Paired with this airframe, which is very maneuverable, it creates a very competent fighter. This engine is the key difference between the J35D and the J35A, and we all know how much people enjoy playing the J35A.
I'm so depressed I don't know what I'm doing. I have not got a clue.
The last thing I'm going to touch on with this plane is the weapons it has access to. It gets 2 kinds of armaments. One of them is the RB-24J heat-seeking air-to-air missiles, and the other is the 30mm cannon. You get 2 of them, and they don't have tracers, so good luck trying to hit your shots. But the RB-24Js are still very powerful. Now they are essentially A9Js, so you know what to expect if you've used them before. Due to the weapons and the abilities of this airframe, there are 2 playstyles I like to use with this plane. One of them is what I like to call satellite mode, where the first step is to take off successfully. The second step is to climb, and step 3 is to hide.
This is my hiding spot.
After those steps, you can now initiate step 4, orbital strike. Providing your entire team isn't dead in the time it took you to get to altitude, and you don't suffer an unfortunate radar missile event, you should now have prime position over the battlefield. You have free reign to use your advanced RB-24J heat-seeking air-to-air missiles and get kills. So, in order to initiate an orbital strike, with your plane in low Earth orbit, begin slinging cruise missiles on people, utilising the knowledge that in top tier, people don't look up. If you get in the right position, the only thing stopping you from clearing up the entire enemy team is a room temperature IQ, so make sure you don't rip your own wings off.
Shutting down. Attempting shutdown. It's not. It's not. My goodness. No!
This strategy is the best choice for clearing house early game, because then, once the herd has been thinned, you can transition into the second strategy, and the Draken's true form. This strategy is a bit simpler. The first step is choosing your victim, the second step is dogfighting them, and the third step is getting your guns on target and hopefully killing them in the process.
Сука, блядь!
Due to the double delta wing design, this plane can pull some super maneuvers like the Cobra. Although Gaijin has been editing the flight model of this plane about every 5 minutes, so I wouldn't say you'd be able to do it all the time, but if you enjoy flopping about like a fish in full sim control mode, feel free to give it a try.
What? No way. Oh no.
So, once you've chosen your victim / combatant. The AOA you have in this plane allows you to pull some pretty nutty shots, provided your aim is alright. As the flip side of this coin, this plane bleeds speed when turning like it's suffering from severe internal hemorrhaging. And despite some players not realising it, there is such a thing as a super stall, so don't get carried away. Speed is your lifeblood in top tier, so getting stuck in a turning engagement will kill you, especially if you don't know how to press C. And remember, you don't get flares, so getting caught with your pants down means certain death. There are two kinds of all-aspect spicy boomsticks you have to worry about when going in for the kill. The R60M and the AIM-9L. Both can and will end your day with excessive force. So, whatever you do, don't overshoot an SU-25 or A-10 when going for them, you will die. No way, no way, no. The sad part is, the dogfighting playstyle is severely hampered by the fact that the planes you face have better missiles than you, have flares, and will focus you down like there is no tomorrow. Think of any plane with all aspects as having a 3-kilometer death bubble floating around them at all times. The point-and-click adventure premiums will be threatening, but you can run away until they are distracted or out of missiles. Your biggest struggle in this plane is ensuring that enemies waste their missiles before they get to you by either giving them bad launch angles or baiting them into firing them at teammates who have flares. If you know that the planes nearby can't launch a missile at you, you can slowly but surely pick them to pieces in this plane. Quick side note before we move on, and I know some of you are thinking this. A, yes you can dodge missiles, pretty much any missile in the game if you really want to, but you will poo yourself trying to do it.
Many poos shot out of my A-line!
These missiles are still really hard to dodge.
Okay, towards me, he's going towards you, you're dead.
And second side point, you will waste pretty much all your speed trying to do so, which will get you killed anyway. And yeah, maybe your mate Jeff in his HOTAS rig is one of 1 vs 4 against an F-16 and dodged 6 AIM-9Ls in a row. Just because this plane can turn its way out of 30G missiles doesn't mean you should treat it like a brawler. You don't get countermeasures, and you will end up getting killed if you keep trying.
He ran fast and died at 30.
I would say in general the best play style for this plane is to play a little bit more passively. The best way to not get a missile right up your tailpipe is to keep your tailpipe out of the heat seeker.
Oh my god, he on X.
One of the main reasons I like this plane over a lot of the other options I have to choose from is that it is flawed. It's not meta, it's not going to carry every game. A matter of fact, you're going to get absolutely shat on 50% of the time. But when it goes well, you feel like you've done a good job. The tools you have at your disposal require just that little modicum of skill and practice, that when you do well in this plane, you know it's not because an AIM-54 Phoenix wiped out half the enemy team before you even got there. It's a plane that isn't going to do well all the time, but I feel like I'm having the most fun in War Thunder when I'm the one who's influencing what's happening in the match, not a missile. All in all, fun playing, 10 out of 10, would recommend. IGN, slap a talisman on that bad boy, and begin the grind.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky. You know?
Oh my ping, oh my god, I'm gonna crash.